Dave, you're getting ready now for your next game. Put to bed the last 4 days from last Saturday when you think about it. I think you've had the highs and lows of being a football manager, a football player, a football supporter.
Yeah, we'll watch the video now, and then we'll go and work on some stuff from Tuesday and a bit of stuff on Rotherham ready for Saturday.
I think it shows, doesn't it, now? I know you've only played those 8 games, but if anybody did think it was going to be easy, that one game has come early. That you know you've got to be on your levels. Whoever you're playing, you've got to be up to your levels.
Yeah, of course. You know, I think Morecambe get a bit of a bad rap. We shouldn't lose to Morecambe. I'm sure they do that every week. I'm pretty certain we get it when we beat teams. We shouldn't lose to Crewe. We're here on merit, they're here on merit. You have to beat what's put in front of you, and we didn't.
How do you stay focused, you know, that you don't panic or you don't rip up the coaching manual, and how do you get yourselves ready after a setback for your next game? Because that is always the old saying in football, the next game is the most important one.
You have to go through the process of reflection, you know, watching it, understanding it, working out why things have happened, and making sure that you put in place things to hopefully make sure it doesn't happen again. That's the tough bit. You know, so that the process doesn't change. You've got to remain steadfast in your belief that you're good enough as an individual, as a coach, a manager, as a player, and keep working hard. Don't let life's full of setbacks. Football's no different. That's an awful apple kicking at you right in the stomach when you think you're getting somewhere. That's life. And if you you know, if you then just go, well, that's tough, or it's not for me anymore, you're in the wrong game anyway. You've got to you know, face up and be honest with yourself and keep working hard.
But when you go to Rotherham, you'll know come 3 o'clock, it'll be no surprise at 5 o'clock you've won the game, because that's what Crewe are about at times, aren't they?
Well, of course, I hope you're right.
Yeah.
I hope you're right. That's football for you. That is football. We've got to make sure, you know, we've got another opportunity on Saturday to win a game of football. We've got to make sure we take it.
You know, goals haven't been forward coming in your squad, especially in the league.
I mean, I can't say I'm enamoured by that stat, of course. And we've got some work to do. That's why we've been working. And we've scored 3 in the last 2 games, 4 in the last 3 games. So I don't think it's necessarily a problem, but it's certainly an area for improvement. It always is, and it always will be. And we've got to make sure that continues. We've got to, again, you maintain that belief of you are good enough, you're working hard to improve in that area particularly, and other areas, but that area, in the hope that you do get it right more often than not, and that's the constant challenge of this game.
You've got yourselves in positions and had chances. Do you think 1 or 2 new boys, and even perhaps 1 or 2 of the lads who've been with you, are trying a bit too hard when they get there, not just doing the simple thing?
There's always that. I think certainly on Tuesday night, players were trying things that we hadn't particularly asked them to do, and hadn't particularly wanted them to do, because they wanted to do more, and that's admirable, but it didn't help. So on one hand I go, well, look, you're trying, but your efforts are misplaced. So, you know, we'll dust them down and tell them they're on the right track. I say we've scored 4 in the last 3 games, so we're not, you know, absolutely drying up in front of goal, but we can be better, and we've got to keep working at that. And
that other work at the other end of the field as well is to be switched on to things that Morecambe did to you that you weren't switched on.
Yeah.
You know, it created a bit of a problem.
Well, that's the game. The game was done and dusted, really, having seen the whole 90 minutes, because we started off really well for 10 minutes, or 8 minutes, whatever it was, and then didn't defend well for 20 minutes, and that cost us the game. And we've got to make sure that we can't go through them periods where, you know, we concede sloppy goals like that.
When you get a performance which is below par, is it a little bit easier for you to get over to your players what you're looking for, to stress to them that, you know, so you don't get repeats?
I wouldn't say easier. I think it's just the job. I think it's just the job. You've got to do it when you win. You've got to do it when you lose. You've got to do it when you win well, and you've got to do it when you lose badly. But again, it's the process. This is what we do. This is how we reflect. This is how we get better. This is how we're going to show you. This is how we're going to work. I'm going to practice and practice and practice and repetition all the time, so that you get better at it.
What have you got from Rotherham then? You had a look, and it's very, very close to you as well, of course, because it's another of your former clubs. You're from that area, but they come down. What are they made of?
I saw them last Tuesday, Wednesday, when they played Lincoln. I thought they were really impressive, big, strong, physical. You can see why they do well in this league. Athletes, energy, two big lads up front, and Smith and Ladapo. And they're going to ask you questions, so you know what you're going to get. They've got some very good footballers. Dan Barlas is a very good technical player, but we also think they've got some weaknesses, and we've got to expose them weaknesses.
Does that go into your thinking then when you make your final selection, what you've seen and what you've got available?
Of course, always. I don't pick a team to lose, Graham.
No, exactly, and you've got enough options, haven't you, to make them have to think.
Yeah, of course. We've got some players that are pushing. We've got some players that are returning. We've got some players that need to do better, and we've got to try and get that blend and that mix and that belief that they're good enough and they can go to the New York Stadium and win.